Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news coming out of the sports betting industry. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Keep those coming in. This week, in our state and national reports, we've got some July and August reports to talk about, as well as a week of September from New York to discuss.
Oh, okay. We're spanning 3 months now.
3 months.
Okay.
Deals, we've got a newspaper deal to talk about. We've got a DC soccer deal, and we've got another pair of IC360 deals. Mm-hmm. Industry updates, licenses, launches, and exits.
Okay.
Legislative roundup, we've got a pair of federal laws to talk about, or federal bills to talk about, and also some news coming out of Alabama.
Okay.
We're going to start talking state and national right after this.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-479-3522. That's 800-479-3522. 800-479-3522.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to start off the state and national reports with the state of Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Very quick note from the state of Illinois. Their July sports betting report came out. This is the 11th straight month that parlay revenue in the state of Illinois has been at least $40 million.
See, that's incredible. And it seems like when you're looking at parlay news, everything's coming out of Illinois. I wonder if they are just the state that really reports it the most. I'm sure parlays are big in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Nevada, but it seems like when you're thinking about parlays and the revenue they create, you're thinking of Illinois because you see their numbers all the time.
Well, Illinois' parlays take up almost half of what's been coming in for revenue in sports betting.
Well, my question
is really interesting.
Are they just reporting it more, or are other states seeing that much revenue coming in from parlays and they're just not reporting it, or they're just not highlighting it like Illinois is?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I like Jersey. New
Jersey. What a lawyerly answer.
New Jersey.
Well, it depends on what you're looking at, and what you're reading, and what reports.
Some states do break it down that far.
Sure.
Some states do not. It's a matter of how far in depth the reports for the state division of gamings go. I mean, like I said, New Jersey reports parlay information.
Sure.
Illinois reports parlay information. Pennsylvania very rarely, if ever, it does. So. Just those three states, and also New York doesn't.
Well, regardless of who's reporting it, parlays are such a huge part of the revenue for a sports book. What was that saying? Parlays don't build bankrolls, they build sports books, and that's really the case here. I mean, just log on to any online sports book, and right up on top, you're going to see the parlays that they set for you, or parlays that are suggested for you, or whatever. But parlays are a huge part of revenue for sports books.
Well, moving forward in the calendar, I just mentioned New Jersey. We have their August sports betting report.
Okay.
And with their August sports betting report, New Jersey reported that its all-time total handle, that's retail and mobile together, passed $53.5 billion.
Wow. Okay.
They lead the league, so to speak.
Okay. Well, yeah, look, I mean, I think New York is going to overtake them pretty soon. So, enjoy it where you can, New Jersey.
All-time total revenue for the state also passed $4 billion. State also reported that the year-to-date tax revenue was around $93 million. That's almost $16 million more by this time last year. After the first 8 months of 2023, we're $16 million more ahead in terms of New Jersey being ahead in tax revenue.
By the way, just to complete the picture on New Jersey, they just broke a record for August for iGaming. So the online casino industry in New Jersey is doing great right now. So
That was my next note on my page here.
Which is kind of weird. You would think online casinos would break records in the wintertime. You know, we still have some semblance of a winter, although not a lot of snow like when I was a kid. But, you know, it's cold. It gets dark early. You would think the online casinos would break records in the wintertime when everyone's sitting home. But in August, to break a record when it's, you know, still sunny and warm and then the weather is really nice, so that's quite a feat.
I think it says a lot about the diversity of the types of online gaming that are available in New Jersey. Not just online poker, not online slots, but the table games are different,
in a
too.
time when, in August, when sports betting is a little down, you know, a lot of sports books aren't reporting big numbers or like the numbers they had, you know, earlier on in the year. But that's pretty impressive with the iGaming numbers.
And let's face it, if you can't make it down to the shore in New Jersey, where are you going to go?
Yeah, right. So, but also, you know, it's I'm expecting another big couple of months because you've been online playing your Halloween slot games or whatever.
The seasonal games.
The seasonal games.
Yes.
I call them Halloween slot games,
Yes.
but you call them seasonal games?
You got to call them seasonal.
Yeah.
So, going up 95, we're going to Massachusetts.
All right.
We got Massachusetts reporting their August sports betting numbers. Commonwealth of Massachusetts has reported its year-to-date gross gaming revenue has passed $400 million. Year-to-date total handle has passed $4.4 billion. That's a good amount of money right
Well,
there.
look, they had a championship team this year.
Yep.
The Celtics won their 18th banner, so I expected them to do very well because you know, we were up there and it was Celtic fever, and
Yes.
I'm sure that translated into a big handle.
Well, not only did DraftKings account for more than 50% of the mobile market share in the state again, DraftKings also passed $200 million in year-to-date gross gaming revenue and $2.2 billion in handle.
Well, when you're talking about Massachusetts, you're talking about DraftKings because
Exactly.
that's where their corporate headquarters is. Berkeley Street.
Berkeley Street.
I didn't know what corporate headquarters are or corporate headquarters is.
Headquarters is.
Yes, I said it right. So, but no, they're in Berkeley in the Back Bay. So, you know, so they have a amazing presence.
It's their state.
They have an amazing presence in
Yes.
New England and particularly Massachusetts.
Over in Michigan, they have reported their August numbers. With their August sports betting report, the state of Michigan became the 9th state to pass $1.5 billion in total gross gaming revenue.
Wow. Okay.
14th state to pass $3 billion in total handle in 2024. That's year to date. FanDuel passed $5 billion in all-time handle, and DraftKings passed $300 million in all-time gross gaming revenue in the state.
Wow. Okay.
Good numbers all the way around.
Wow. Great numbers.
And, of course, BetMGM led all iGaming platforms for the 4th consecutive month.
Yep.
Going to go through a couple different states here rather quickly. We have Indiana. August sports betting report, state of Indiana's year-to-date handle passed $3 billion. DraftKings led in terms of both handle and revenue for the first time since back in November of 2023. Going over to Iowa, Iowa has their August sports betting report out. The state of Iowa reported that DraftKings has passed the $2.7 billion mark all time in handle for the state. Now we have Vermont. Vermont also released their August sports betting numbers, and Vermont's always a fun state to talk about.
Vermont sports betting.
Well, they're the ones that break it between the in-staters and the out-of-staters.
That's an interesting stat that they keep track of.
Yes.
In-state bettors versus out-of-state bettors. So.
Well, in-state bettors, the handle was $3.5 million versus the out-of-staters, which was $7.8 million. Active users, we've got 6,000 basically in-state, 7,100, 7,200 out-of-state active users. They're the ones that come into the state traveling. They're registered outside the state.
Sure, but you would expect them to spend a little more money. So you're in Vermont. So most of the time they're on vacation. You know, Vermont in the summertime is great. Vermont in the fall right now should be absolutely beautiful. If I don't know when peak colors are hitting.
What's the over-under number of leaves falling?
Yeah, I know, but it's what do they call them? Leaf peepers?
Leaf peepers.
Okay, but No, but if you're on vacation or if you're away from home for a little bit for a weekend, you tend to spend more money. It's just, if, hey, I'm here in Vermont, I might as well put a little extra more money on this game or something like that. So
moving over to the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C.'s August sports betting report. Record monthly handle, and they've been doing extremely well since FanDuel took over for
Gambit. Right? Okay.
Yes, and also now Caesars is coming in, replacing the Gambit kiosk with their own. So, going to see some interesting numbers moving forward.
I did a story on that. What was it? 53 locations.
Well, that's
that
what Gambit
Caesars
had.
are going to put kiosks in. I was like, my goodness! When you think of sports betting in Washington D.C., 53 locations, that sports betting is available to you, which is absolutely mind-blowing.
And we're going to finish up real quickly here with New York. We've got the week ending September 8th for New York State. FanDuel passed $20 billion in all-time handle. 7 of the 8 operators, it used to be 9 operators, have finished the week with positive revenue. And New York State has had its second straight week of at least $400 million in weekly handle. They were down under 400 for the longest time. So now with football back, you're seeing the impact.
Football is back,
betting.
and congratulations, New York sports betting operators. The Yankees clinched a playoff berth,
There you go.
so you got extra betting. So as we speak, we're still waiting to see how the Mets do. So keep your fingers crossed, New York.
That's it for the state national reports. We're going to start talking deals right now. Starting off our deals, we're going to be talking some newspaper publications. We've got BetMGM announcing a strategic partnership with USA Today publisher Gannett.
I remember when the USA first came out. This is how old I am. I used to love it because, number one, it was in color. That's where my mental acumen was.
Still is.
And it still is. And it was a lot shorter newspaper articles. I mean, you look at the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, you have these huge articles.
It was designed for quick reads.
Yeah, it was, I mean, for anyone who's a commuter on a train or a bus,
It was
the U.S.
perfect paper.
Today was a godsend. But I got to be honest, I haven't picked up an actual paper in years. I'm looking at it online and things like that. So, but I'm glad to see USA Today is still doing well. There used to be a paper where you get at like hotels, when hotels used to leave papers in
front of your door.
Yeah. USA Today was always the thing. So.
Well, BetMGM is now the preferred online sports betting and iCasino operator for Gannett. They're taking over from when Tipico was the partner. Remember Tipico? They exited the United States. BetMGM has stepped in. BetMGM will serve as the preferred online sportsbook and casino partner, providing sports betting odds and betting information across the entire USA Today network, which includes 200 local U.S. markets. So that's a huge step forward, 43 states. Gambling.com is also involved in this because Gambling.com was working with Gannett to do some sports betting content. They will be working hand in hand with BetMGM. For the content.
These articles are really important to me, especially, we do a football show and, we have to figure out what teams to pick and what over and unders to go with. And, you need information and you have to, find a resource. And the newspapers are always great, and BetMGM's great and Gannett's great. So it's a vital source of information for sports bettors, I think.
Going back over to the District of Columbia, we've got a soccer deal. We've got Fanatics Sportsbook announcing a partnership agreement with the Washington Spirit of the National Women's Soccer League.
Now, when is their season? Is it? I have no idea when their season is.
I don't either.
I have to look at it. All right, now.
But the book will be open.
Spirit?
The book, once it opens their retail book, they'll probably be open more around the year than just when the games are in service there. But Fanatics Sportsbook is now the team's official sports betting platform. It also includes market access to DC. This is the 23rd jurisdiction for Fanatics.
Okay.
It's also the first team sponsorship deal for Fanatics with a women's sports organization.
I think we're in it right now.
There you go.
So, because as we're speaking, as we're recording this, I am seeing they're playing tomorrow night against the KC Current. So, go Washington Spirit and what is it? Who's with them? Fanatics?
Yeah, Fanatics.
All right.
Partnership includes the normal marketing assets in stadium signage, digital marketing, Audi Field activations for soccer fans, many other opportunities for Spirit fans and ticket holders who engage with Fanatics Sportsbook.
Yep.
A pair of IC 360 deals to finish up. That's Integrity Compliance 360. They announced a continued partnership with the Mountain West Conference. They are continuing with the integrity monitoring dashboard that IC360 provides. Also, IC360 announced another partnership in Brazil. I think we talked about one last week.
And I said last week, Brazil is such a huge gaming market, an emerging gaming market, too.
They're going to be working with Meridian Bet.
Oh, okay.
Meridian Bet Group Brazil. So, two big deals for IC360, another expansion into the Brazilian market for IC360. It's going to be fun to watch that market develop, especially with IC360
it's incredible,
helping guide it.
Yeah.
That's it for the deals this week. We're going to start talking industry updates right after this. Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're in our industry updates segment, and we are going to be talking a couple different openings that have happened over the past week or two. Here we have up in Maine, Caesars Entertainment announced the first in-person sports wagering location, a.k.a. retail sports betting, in the state of Maine at the newly opened sports entertainment venue Oddfellows.
Okay, you got to say that with the proper New England accent. Oddfellows.
I refuse.
Yeah, this is how it's spelled. Oddfellahs.
Right.
Oddfellows.
And it's called
Fellas.
And just so you know, the sports wagering location in Oddfellows is Oddfellows, powered by Caesar Sportsbook. There's that powered by.
There you go.
Powered by Caesar Sportsbook, and it's through Caesar's partnership with First Track Investments. That's the name of the company that owns Oddfellows.
I have been to Maine, but I have never been to any gambling establishment in Maine. So I've been to Kittery. I've been to they have a lot of outlet stores there. You know, the outdoorsy kind of outlet stores. You know, what was the give me an outdoorsy kind of place to the. Go get your flannel.
There's Bass Outlet.
There's Bass Outlet there. Well,
there's
Bass Outlet's everywhere. But there's like, what's that one? I can't remember that one.
They have one. There's a Levi store up there. I've never seen so much Levi jeans and apparel before.
Yeah, there was an outlet. I don't know if they're still there or what, but it was like Kittery, Maine is big in outlets. But apparently they're, now they're getting big in casinos.
Well, ceremonial.
By the way, they call that Vacation Land.
Actually, it's also the Pine Tree State.
The Pine Tree State. Pine Tree State and Vacation Land. That's the nickname of Maine.
Ceremonial first bet was placed by Portland Mayor Mark Dion, alongside representatives from Caesar Sportsbooks, First Tracks, the Portland City Council, and the Maine Gambling Control Unit.
Oh, okay.
So congratulations, Caesars, being the first retail sports bettor up there.
Okay.
Going over to Kentucky, we have DraftKings celebrating the grand opening of their retail sports book at the Mint Gaming Hall Bowling Green.
Oh, okay.
That's the
Mint
full name of it.
Gaming Hall Bowling Green.
Book is located inside the Post-Time Race and Sports Lounge, which is inside the Bowling Green location.
Okay.
Let's see, it's got 6 kiosks, Thank God they didn't say self-service kiosks.
Yeah, right.
2 over-the-counter windows, lounge seating, 30 televisions, 2 kiosks located on the main gaming floor, as well as another over-the-counter window in the Players Club.
Okay.
So they've got a lot of access to the sports betting there.
All right.
Kentucky Sports Radio host Matt Jones and DraftKings were both on hand to do the ceremonial ribbon cutting with the mayor, Sue Paragon.
Okay.
And she placed the first ceremonial bet.
Oh, all right.
Moving over to, well, we're going to stay with DraftKings.
All right.
And
More DraftKings, huh?
more New England, too, as a matter of fact.
New England. Okay.
We've got DraftKings submitting the newly launched online poker game, Electric Poker, for regulatory approval in Connecticut.
Okay.
So it's Connecticut.
Electric Poker.
It's the one that's up in Michigan right now.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I heard about that.
That's
It's in
why
Michigan,
I said it the way I said it.
okay.
I thought you'd recognize
I have,
the
yeah. I
phrasing.
actually did a story on it.
Yes.
I knew I heard the name Electric Poker. I didn't put it in New England, but no, it's in Michigan. I haven't
Right.
seen it yet. I'm very curious to see what
You
that
may
looks
see it
like.
soon. If it gets approved by the Division of Gaming for Connecticut, it's go through a soft launch, then a full launch.
Okay.
But,
so what state is this in?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yep.
Okay, so Connecticut's looking at it right now. All right.
Connecticut legalized online poker back in 2021, but neither FanDuel or DraftKings have launched any kind of poker product in the state. This may be the first poker product in the state of Connecticut,
Like
which
I
would be
said,
really cool.
I'm very curious to see what Electric Poker is. So yeah, no, good. I like that.
Moving over to Illinois, the Illinois Gaming Board renewed Rivers Casino gaming license as well as the Hawthorne Racecourse Master Sports Wagering license. Rivers is now licensed through August of 2028 and Hawthorne through September of 2028.
Great.
The Illinois Gaming Board also approved Rush Street Interactive for a management services provider license for 4 years. They were operating under a temporary license since June of 2020, so this was an important step to get the permanent one.
Absolutely.
Next story, we're going back up to New England.
Wow, what?
A lot of happening in New England.
Why don't you just do a category New England and we'll talk about it all there.
May have to do a New England report.
Okay, what New England state now?
We're going to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
We've
Where we call it. Does it involve DraftKings?
No, it
Because-
doesn't.
No, okay. Because every time you talk about New Hampshire, you're talking about DraftKings, but
It involves one of their competitors,
okay.
but nothing to do with sports betting.
Oh, okay. I thought there was going to be a little drama in New Hampshire.
No. A Cordish company has proposed a new casino project up in New Hampshire.
Nice.
They have proposed a project that they have tabbed Live Casino Salem.
Great.
Salem, New Hampshire, not Salem, Massachusetts.
Salem, New Hampshire.
I know we're around Halloween time,
Yeah,
so
right.
it's Salem, New Hampshire, not Massachusetts. It's a 3-story, 60,000 square foot facility, according to the plan submitted to the Salem, New Hampshire Planning Board. Over 900 historical horse racing machines, 40 plus betting tables, 4 restaurants, and a center bar.
Well, nice.
It's also a charitable gaming center because that's
Yeah.
what you can only have in New Hampshire.
Yeah, you can only have that in New Hampshire. It has to be tied in with charities up in the state. But no, that's great. Cordish is an amazing company.
Yes.
They have amazing properties all around the country. So it's great. No.
If this one goes through, they may also be joining the other casino project that's going to be launching, the Nash Casino, which is over in Nashua. Nashua.
Oh, okay.
Good naming technique there.
I can't remember. I don't know if it's it's one of the charitable casinos or like a poker room. It's called Gate City Casino, and I guess I don't know what town it's in, but apparently that's at the Gate City, or I don't know why they call it the Gate City. Is it the gateway to New England, or
I think
what
it's
is
in
that?
Manchester. So
I don't know. I don't know.
It might be that.
I got to
reasoning.
look it
I
up.
don't know.
Why they call it the Gate City?
But the
Casino.
Cordish Casino will be minutes away from Chaser's Poker Room.
Okay.
That's the other big poker room up there that's owned by, I believe, Churchill Downs now.
Yeah, they bought it. I guess
Yeah.
they're putting in some of those historical horse racing.
That's all
machines
you're
too.
allowed up there.
Yep.
So. Last story for the industry updates. We've got an update on Bovada. Bovada has now pulled out of 3 more states, restricting access to customers in Kansas, Louisiana, and Pennsylvania.
Oh,
They
okay.
received cease and desist letters from all 3 of those states. They have now pulled out of those states, and so now it's up to 13 plus Washington, D.C. in terms of how many states and jurisdictions Bovada is no longer welcome.
Now, the states that have not yet sent cease and desist,
Maybe doing so.
they may be doing so
At some point.
All right, so I guess we have to keep an eye on this one.
Yep.
At one point, I guess Bovada is going to say, "Hey, what's the point? Let's just pull out of the U.S."
Bovada may go the other way. Let's get licensed.
They have that name in the industry,
Yeah.
so
It's something they should consider, but I
but-
think they're happier the way they are.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if financially they have to look at it if it makes sense for them because it takes a lot of money to get licensed in all these states. So and the tax revenue isn't great. I mean, New York, they tax the sports betting operators 51%. So they have to figure that one out themselves. Either pull out or go all in. So.
Well, that's it for the industry updates. We're going to finish up with our legislative roundup. We're going to start off the legislative roundup with a couple national stories. We've got the D.C. Circuit of Appeals granting a temporary stay after a Commodity Futures Trading Commission filed an emergency motion with the court following a lower court ruling last week permitting Kalshi, which is a election betting company, to launch election betting in the U.S. They had been given the green light to go ahead. Then the Commodity Futures Trading Commission filed an emergency brief with the court, or emergency motion with the court, and now everything is done. They are waiting for this court to decide.
Tell you, I don't think election betting is anywhere legal in the U.S. I may be wrong, but I don't think it's legal.
Canada has it.
Canada has it. I think the U.K. has it, and
it'll be interesting to see if it actually moves forward. Everyone seems interested in it, but I don't know exactly.
I don't know. It's you have to figure that one out. So.
The
I was never interested in it, so I don't.
No. The other national story was Representative Paul Tonko and Senator Richard Blumenthal holding the press conference to unveil the official version of the Safe Bet Act. We'll talk about that more in depth in our other show, Turnpike Sports. But the bill lets states continue to regulate and oversee sports betting, but there would be some federal oversight involved in the operation of the industry across the country.
You really have to take a close look at that, especially for enforcement, how the federal law could affect the state law and how that overlaps and how efficient that would be.
Yes.
So right now I'm inclined to keep the states doing their own thing when it comes to gambling within their borders because they, have the most oversight, I think, and they have the mechanism to enforce the state rules. So we'll see what happens. But there's always, you have to see how the federal laws and the state laws really intertwine and really, effectively enforce rules and regulations.
Well, the big bugaboo in this is the bill wants to prohibit advertising during primetime hours as well as during live sporting events, wants to limit language, puts language restrictions on the advertising, no bonus, odds boosts, or no sweat bets kind of thing, prohibit education about how to bet in advertising. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. So
that's maybe a little bridge too far. I haven't read the legislation yet, but limiting private companies with regard to advertising, it's
a step too far.
It
might be.
It doesn't feel good when I say that like that, but so I have to take a look at what they're proposing. But I'm not crazy about that part.
And besides mandatory affordability checks on customers, they also want to limit celebrity spokespersons for advertising. So, kind of. And also, so this is interesting. Celebrity spokespeople, they want to restrict celebrity spokespersons from offering suggested bets to users. That one, that's going to take some parsing of the language.
And also how many bets you can place and stuff. I like personal responsibility is part of this. I mean, to try and legislate personal responsibility is kind of tough. You have to look at what they're proposing, but I don't know about that part.
And very quickly, our last story comes from Alabama. We have State Representative Matthew Hammett introducing a bill that would increase the penalties for those involved in illicit gambling operations, since you can't do any kind of gambling in Alabama just about.
Okay.
He wants to increase the penalties. We've got gambling prohibited. Promoting gambling is currently, that's the phrasing, promoting gambling is currently classified as a Class A misdemeanor. He wants to kick it up to a Class C felony.
Okay.
Up to 10 years in prison,
All right,
$15,000 fine for first offense. Second offense, Class B felony, which is up to 20 years in prison. So we'll see exactly what he's doing. The bill is targeting at illegal gambling machines. The language includes historical horse racing machines, which are at the tracks in Alabama, but he's not necessarily going after them. It'll be interesting to see if that language gets knocked out.
The
as
one
this goes
good
along.
thing that this proposed legislation is doing is it's creating a dialogue. It's creating a talking point so people can think and really discuss this issue. But I don't know how far this one's going to go. But we'll see.
We'll see where they talk it out to. Yeah. That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. As always, there's a ticker flying by below with additional news stories, both national, international, as well as entertainment news stories in the ticker as well, stuff we didn't have a chance to talk about in this half hour. And as always, when this show is released on Monday mornings, there is a full print version on our blog, turnpikesports.us, contains the stories we talked about, some of the ticker stories, and even stories we didn't have a chance to talk about anywhere else in the half hour on air or in the ticker. Check that out at your leisure. And as always, press releases info at turnpikesportsradio.com.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.